Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Franklin County Health and Benefits Committee of August 30th, 2021. We welcome all of you via video conferencing, and we have our two magistrates, Squire Sherry Sebastian and Squire Michael Muller on. And today we're going to be talking about our health insurance, and our guest today leading us in the discussion is our broker, Jamie Bennett. Jamie, welcome, and thank you for being here. And Betty, do you want him to just move right into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go move right into it. Jamie, you've got several options for us to look at. We've asked you to kind of take a look at this and look at it from different aspects, and let's see what you got.
Judge, before he starts, could I let the two squires know that I just emailed out a revised spreadsheet that has some additional options on it. You probably haven't had a chance to check your email since I sent it out, but I just sent it out a few minutes ago. But Jamie will have that on the screen, but just to make you aware that a copy was just sent. Thank you.
Well, good morning to everyone again. I want to thank everyone for their time and their willingness to serve in this capacity for the county. As soon as we get Kyle Stacy on here, he'll be able to bring up on the screens the options that we have. But to give you a synopsis of what we're going to be looking at, we have been offered as option one, a flat renewal into 2022 for our health care. No cost change whatsoever, no change in benefits is option one. Option two, we were asked at the last meeting to look at possibly lowering the maximum out of pocket, which we have done. We can lower that to $5,000 for, I believe it's 1.7%. And then we also have some funding options that we included as we talked about possibly supplementing the employees' portion of their cost to the plan. And as soon as we get Kyle on here, we ought to be ready to roll with going over those options.
We could have Andrew go ahead and share that if you'd like.
Okay.
Jamie, what I have one sheet, and I think the clerk just shared that some other information was sent to us. I'm a little movement challenged to get up and get anything from where I'm literally sitting right now, and I zoomed this on my county phone, so I'm probably gonna have a little bit of trouble seeing what we have here. So if I pick the phone up and put it close to my face, that is why, because I can't see it on this little tiny screen.
What have you done, Squire?
I injured myself trying to help my mother at her home on the farm, and something I've done 8 million times. I was on a tractor there and just jumped off in this 8 million. The first time my leg just didn't catch the right way when I hit the ground. So I've had a ACL tear repaired last week.
Oh my!
So I'm hurting a little bit.
I bet you are. Let me try calling Kyle.
It shows that Kyle is on here. It does not show that he has his microphone or his video on, so he may be having issues, but it does show him in the participant list.
Okay.
Andrew, can you help Kyle get on?
I think he just jumped off, so maybe he's trying to log back in. Here he comes back.
Call Kyle, Stacy.
Good afternoon.
There we go.
My apologies. Encountering some technical issues here.
Understand.
There we go.
All right, Kyle, we just had a little lead in to the alternative funding options that we were going to look at. If you could pull the first one up on the screen for us.
Andrew, are you allowing Kyle to screen share?
Yes, Judge, he has the ability to screen share.
Okay. Jamie, you should be able to, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, as you all can see, the first option that we have there is the current plan that you have now with $1,000 deductible, the $6,500 in max OOP. That has been laid out on the table for renewal at no change by Humana. I do think that is more than a fair offer. In addition, they have given it to us early, which is very hard to do in today's climate. As you move to the second option, that shows you with leaving the current plan in place, changing the funding levels that are there. When I say funding, I'm talking about the county's contribution to employee premiums for their dependents. That moves you up to 50%, still 100% of single, 50% of family, and 50% of employee spouse, employee child. If you do so, it would result in, Kyle, I'm not seeing that very, very bottom column. It would result into a net cost to the county based on your current enrollment. And that's without any additional people deciding to add their dependents. It would amount to a $14,744 increase to the county for making that change. If you move to the next column, it shows the same plan. I'm sorry, it drops the maximum out of pocket to $5,000, but it changed the employer contribution on the employee child, employee spouse, and family to 60%. We go all the way down to the bottom, as I like to say, the bottom line, that would result in a $46,000 net increase to the, $63,000 employer increase. And then if you move to the last column, we drop the maximum out of pocket to $4,000. And the net effect to the county based on 65% employee child, 65% employee spouse, 60% family. It makes the contribution increase to the county annually right at 111. We've decreased those amounts that you see in red across the board, which essentially means that's money that you're putting back into the pockets of those families. I guess now is kind of when we're waiting for a little feedback.
So I've got one question. So Jamie, this is a different sheet than the one that I had sent to me. So is this the sheet, I guess, that we were referring to earlier that we just got about 8 minutes for the or right before the meeting?
That's correct.
It's just showing a different option, right, Jamie?
Correct. It's showing one additional option that wasn't on the other one.
Yeah. So Jamie, you and Kyle are presenting to us 4 different options.
Right.
One completely what we've have had, right?
Yeah, no change.
The second one is a change based on what?
It leaves the coverage the same, but it increases the county funding towards the cost of the
Out of pocket?
dependent coverage.
Dependent coverage, okay.
Dependent coverage.
Okay.
And then alternate 2 reduces the max out of pocket and increases the employer contribution towards dependent coverage. The same with alternate 3. I think it, if you want my opinion on it, lowering the premium itself affects everybody that is paying. I think we have how many people, Betty Jo, if you scroll to the bottom, it'll tell us how many people are actually paying some cost of their family's premium. There it is. We got 3 employee spouse, 15, 21s. You're talking about 28 or 29 employees that it would have an effect on. By lowering the OOP, you're going to affect the people who have had a healthcare event and some significant costs throughout the year. So it's just a matter of what you're trying to do.
I'd like to hear from I don't see any hands from the squires. I'd like to hear from the department heads at this time. Chief Hutcherson, you want to, I know you've heard some from the fire department. Do you want to say anything? Suggestions, talk?
Thank you, Judge. I'm still at this time looking over the sheet if someone else would like to go.
A good way to compare that, if you're trying to do a comparison, Chief, would be if you look at the last column that's employee contribution. Right now, a family plan is $779.71 a month, so a little less than $800. As you go across the page, the first column reduces the cost of that employee but doesn't change the plan. The next column reduces the cost to the family a little more drastically, and it does reduce the max out of pocket. And then the same is the case for the last column. So that's, if you're trying to compare, how it affects those people and those families, you want to look at that employee contribution at the bottom.
Chief, I know that you've expressed to us that, and we agree, we've seen it too, that we're in competition with counties and communities around us that are offering a better or a cheaper family plan. I don't know about better, but a cheaper family plan. What are your thoughts about that, Chief?
Yeah, Judge and court, good afternoon. Absolutely, we're having to compete with departments across the state that are providing part of family benefits. Hold on just a minute, I've got radio traffic. Helping any on the premiums for the Parent Plus family would be greatly appreciated by these individuals. Right now, as I said before in the last meeting, one of their checks basically a month goes towards family insurance, paying for that. And it's just a great strain on it, especially when we're not at the upper end of the pay for individuals for firefighters.
Okay. John Mitchell, or we got Robert, John, Charlie, department heads. What? Yeah, Betty, go ahead.
In the last benefits committee meeting, the judge and the magistrates asked me to reach out to a lot of different counties. And I believe we have a slide on that to show what they are paying, the total cost, the employee cost, and the employer paid cost. So I believe that would be really beneficial to show that. I contacted HR director in Scott County, and he was very helpful. And every county, I believe, has been researching what other counties do. And I believe the slide I want the committee members to know that we did get Scott County, Woodford County, Shelby County, Bull County, Odom County, Boone County. We even have the statewide averages also. We got Bowling Green, Fort Mitchell. I believe that's a really useful slide that we can show so we can understand the premiums across Kentucky and what the employer's paying also. Do we have that? I don't know if the judge wants to.
Kyle, do you have any of that information?
Kyle,
Yes, one moment here. Unfortunately, I've had some technical issues on my end, and I do apologize. But let me pull up here what I have. So here in this first column, you have the current plan year with the Franklin County Fiscal Court. The rows right here indicate the full premium paid. This is on a monthly basis. In the middle is the employer cost. So these are your current employer contributions. And then for the employees, you see those listed out here below. And then Betty Jo, I inputted the data that you provided. So you can see Scott County, Woodford County, Shelby County, and so on. Unfortunately, these are the only entries that I have at this time, but I can finish this and get it back out to you guys following our discussion today. But the one thing to note, and you'll see the deductibles and maximum out of pockets here for each of these plans, based on the results of the survey. It didn't indicate if these plans are PPO plans or high deductible health plans. So just keep in mind that that could cause some variation within the premium rates. And then also, you'd have to make assumptions here with the deductibles, maximum out of pockets. Most of the time, you multiply the individual deductible and or max out of pocket by 2 to get the family amount. So if we assume if it's a $500 individual deductible, you assume $1,000 for family, and a $2,000 max out of pocket for individual, you would assume a $4,000 family maximum out of pocket. And then on some of these plans, if they are a high deductible health plan that include a HSA or health savings account, some of those plans may include an employer contribution into that HSA. But again, based on the information that we have, it's somewhat incomplete, but you can still make the comparison here between the gross premium, employer cost, and employee cost.
Yeah, we can see that every one of the counties showing and cities, when it comes to family, are cheaper. Some of them significantly cheaper.
Correct.
That's the average of the whole sheet.
Average amount, okay.
Judge, would we be able to have somebody send us a copy of this, chief, please?
You got it. Didn't you send to? You didn't send to? Okay, yeah.
Betty Jo, I can finish this and send it back out to you for distribution after this meeting.
Okay. Yep. But you can see it now, can't you, Squire? Squire Muller, can you see that?
I can, Judge. It's a lot to take in. I wish I could have had this prior to the meeting, but yeah, I have it. Thank you.
Okay. Chief, we can see when you compete, Scott County, Woodford County, Shelby County, and Frankfort are probably the city of Frankfort are probably our biggest competitors when it comes to firemen. Would you not think, or is there another community that's a big competitor with firemen?
That's correct, Judge. We have a few a little further away, like different areas, but the majority of those that you just named off are our competitors as far as acquiring employees and keeping.
Okay. We didn't put the cities on there because there's really no comparison. They're self-insured, and Jamie, you probably want to say something about that. There's apples and oranges there, isn't it?
It is. And then also, for example, when you look at Oldham County, that's obviously a high deductible health plan. So you can't really make a good comparison. I do want you to, as you go through the rate column, though, as we have been telling you that we're working hard for the county and that the county's rates are better than most of your surrounding counties. I think that bears to be proven in this survey right here. When you look at the single rate for a plan in Franklin County, it's $438. When you look at it in Scott, it's $646. Woodford County, Woodford County, when you put the two together, that's more like it. $753 in Shelby. So again, for what you're paying and what you're getting, there's really nothing here that comes close to what you're receiving as a health insurance benefit in Franklin County. I do feel that it's probably time that we did lower the max out of pocket. Keep in mind, as I've said many times to this working group, once you put it out there, it's going to be pretty much impossible to take away. So I don't know that I would jump all the way down to the $4,000 option on the max out of pocket, but I do think we can go to 5 without having a drastic impact on your plan.
Okay.
So then it simply comes down to, do you want to supplement the family coverage and the employee spouse and employee children. And it looks like everywhere around us, they're doing so.
Betty, when do we have to have this on the agenda? When does it have to be
The
done?
latest would have to be September 24th. We need to get it on by September 24th.
On no later than that agenda. Yeah, okay. Chief, as you look at alternate one, I believe it's $5,000. Have you heard from your employees in any other department head too? Please speak up about the out-of-pocket costs. In this one, it's lowered $1,500 and from $6,500 to $5,000. It also helps out the employee spouse by just under $200 a month, employee children by a couple of $100 a month, and family by $260 a month, plus or minus. So I know that your people, and I know that as we've interviewed people, they all say that maximum amount of pocket is a big issue. But this cuts it back $1,500, plus you also save roughly a couple $100 a month, which is quite a bit as well. What are your thoughts, Chief?
Judge, I didn't have this sheet till today also. I have not discussed it with our employees. Yeah, if you have a claim and it's a considerable amount, say it's just under the threshold, that money comes directly out of your bank account until you reach that magic number. So anything to reduce that would most definitely be helpful.
Okay. Any other department heads? Squire Muller, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Judge. I guess this is for Betty Jo. Do you have many people that ask when they're applying for employment what the out-of-pocket is? Because, usually if someone's applying at our company, it's more of, what's your health care, what's it going to cost, things like that. Does that question ever come up in the interview process?
No, it doesn't. The maximum out of pocket, no, they usually don't ask that. What they usually ask is how much it's going to cost them, their premiums.
Right.
That's the number one question.
Okay. And then would you or Jamie know, just curious, the 6,500 out of pocket, how many people actually hit that last year? Just curious.
2.
Okay, thank you.
Either way you look at it, Squire Muller, I would like to say the $6,500 is a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So if, I guess really the question would be, how many people would it have affected? And I don't think we have that. If it was 5,000, would it have affected more people and helped more people? So.
Well, I can tell you, Judge, that we had 27 members who met their deductible.
You did, that met their deductible?
$1,000.
$1,000, yeah, okay.
Judge, I will say that we've had in the past 3 years quite a few babies born into the families of the firefighters. So you can imagine what that does to you.
I can, absolutely.
Kevin, they're usually about a $15,000 hit if everything goes great. If everything doesn't go great, they can be much, much more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I understand Squire Muller's question of how many people ask about the out of pocket, but Betty, you do get comments once they've been employed and they realize the out of pocket 6,500, that does become an issue.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Squire Muller that the first thing you look at is your monthly payment. And if when you start getting issues, you sure look at the out of pocket at that point in time.
I know that you all are saying your next fiscal court meeting is a couple of weeks away, or the bottom line for you all to decide. I don't know that this offer from Humana is going to be here for 6 or 8 more weeks.
I forgot about that, Jamie, and that is correct. And I thank you so much for bringing that up, because that could make that does make a difference, doesn't it? Then you remember that now? The reason we're meeting this quickly is because there's a chance it's going to get pulled.
Yeah, the whole intent of Humana is to offer this early renewal so that they can put it down and start working on the other thousands that they have to get done prior to January 1.
So yeah, to clarify, it does need to be on the September 24th agenda
Well,
for
he's saying it needs to be
that.
on the September 2nd agenda, is what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Is that what you meant, Jamie? It needs to be on the September 2nd agenda this Thursday?
It is exactly what I meant, yeah.
Hey, Jamie, crazy question, but because we just got some of these documents, like the chief said, let's say it goes on September 2nd and we just leave it the same. Are we locked in there for a whole nother year? Or if we decide to make a change in a month, we can make a change?
I guess I need to clarify it. Maybe Mike would help, Michael, if that would help. And that would be, if you make a plan change a month and a half from now, prior to January 1, that would be fine. This offer is an offer that Humana has put out here in exchange for the county saying, we're not going to take it to market. We're not going to go talk to Anthem. We're not going to go talk to United Healthcare. We are going to stay with Humana. And if I can give them that piece of knowledge, a change in the max out of pocket from 6,500 to 5,000 or 4,000, that's fine. But it's just it's a handshake or my word that we're not going to go to market with it.
Right, so that's understandable. So if we did put this on our agenda Thursday and hypothetically it passed, we could make changes to the plan if needed prior to January 1, correct?
If you wanted to wait until then, that later meeting in September, and come back and say, we want to have this alternate instead of that one, that would be okay.
Well, I just like Chief said, we just got some of this, and I'd like to really look at the surrounding counties too and kind of get a feel for the whole big picture. But okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Betty Jo, by the way, you got Humana in trouble.
I got Humana in trouble?
You sure did.
What?
Well, several of these counties have Humana, and after you called saying you got an early renewal, they were calling Humana wanting to know why they didn't.
The committee asked me to reach out to the
Because
county.
we've got a good broker, Jamie.
Understand.
Sorry.
Maybe we just helped your group out. Maybe the BIM group got helped out.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, so
right.
we got a little preferential treatment, I guess.
All right. So, Squire Muller, go ahead, Tamara.
Charlie would like to say something.
I'm sorry.
And you may not be able to see him. I'm
I
sorry.
can't see Charlie. Sorry I missed you. Go ahead, Charlie. I'm sorry I missed you.
That's okay. Thanks, Judge. Just a quick question, Jamie. Top to bottom for the employee, I could be reading it wrong, but is alternate number 2 the best for the employee?
The absolute best is alternate 3. We're not changing the deductible, we're not changing copays, but the full exposure to someone in a given year. You had a catastrophic health occurrence, their max out of pocket for that year is $4,000. Alternate 2 is 5.
Okay. I do see that. I was just looking at some of the other things down there at the bottom where it looked a little, just a hair cheaper for the employee spouse, employee children, and family.
And those, the differences are made up by the amount of money we put in from our budget. Is that correct, Jamie?
That's correct. The alternate 1, you're funding the dependent coverage at 50%. Alternate 2 and 3, you're funding dependent coverage at 65 and 60.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're paying 10% more on the family coverage.
So that really the max amount of pocket is a significant part of the cost of the insurance, isn't it?
In my mind, it is probably the single most important piece. What's your exposure? I think most folks can handle a $35 office visit versus a $25 office visit, but it does make a difference when you're talking 6,500 versus 4,000. I think it makes a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference there. Well, it sounds to me like the best thing for us to do, whatever way we were going to do it, is take this to the court on Thursday and see if they're willing to go with Humana. Is that right? Don't you think, Tambra? And then if we're going to alter the plans, we can do that without losing the great opportunity. I've talked with many people over the last week. We were at the judges conference at the DLG conference, and to get a flat rate is really outstanding. So
if you were, Judge, if you were already paying $700 or $800 a month for single coverage, maybe it wouldn't be a really, really good deal. But when you compare what you're paying for individual coverage to counties around us, you are getting a really good opportunity here.
Yep. So I'd hate to lose that. So Squires, I throw out this thought that we take this to the fiscal court, see what the fiscal court says, and ask for the renewal, and then say that this may not be the final plan, but we will at least be allowed to look at some other options as the final plan on the 24th meeting.
Judge, I would agree with that, and just want to thank everybody for all that hard work, and I look forward to looking at some of these documents a little bit closer. But yeah, I would agree, Judge.
Okay. Squire Sebastian, you okay with that?
Thank you, Judge. Yes, I could go with that. Just kind of not having all this material at my hand. I'd be making some kind of a slapdash decision, and I don't think that's what any of us want to do with this very important part of what we are able to provide for our employees. So I would agree with that. Let's take it to the court and see.
Okay, so Betty, I would assume then in a couple weeks, the middle of September, we'll have another benefit meeting, and discuss it again, to come up with a final recommendation if the court approves Anthem on Thursday. That'd be okay, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, what would we need for court on Thursday? We
We'll
don't,
work on that later.
Yeah, okay. We're just gonna renew that with options coming later, possibly, okay? All right. I think we've got a plan on that one. Jamie, I think you've got Guardian Group Life and Dental on there. Do you want to talk about that as well?
I just wanted to, we're paying a small amount of True Group life insurance on the employees. I believe it's $10,000 per employee, or is it 20? Betty Jo?
it's 10.
It's 10, and then an additional $10,000 benefit if it's an accident. We suspect that we're going to get a flat increase on that. So that won't be anything really, I think, that the committee ought to have to fool with if they choose to continue with that benefit.
Well, my opinion that, are we just talking about the life insurance?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I would also think that we're going to be able to get a flat renewal on dental with Guardian as well.
Okay. What about vision? Is that part of it too?
Vision is another option for the employees that we think if we press hard enough, we'll be able to get that flat as well.
Okay. So should we make that part of the approval on Thursday, Jamie?
I would not on Thursday because I don't expect to have it in writing prior to.
Okay. Okay. Squire Sebastian?
Yes, Sharon.
Yeah, Jamie, I just wanted to ask you a question about the life. Again, could you restate what you said? Just, I want to make sure I heard it all correctly, because I did hear something that there might be maybe a little bump there, but I just want to make sure I understood it right.
We have a $10,000 True Group term life benefit on every
Yep.
employee. And then
Okay.
there is an additional 10 if it is due to an accident.
Okay.
Is that accident on the job or just an accident in life?
Accident in life.
Okay.
And we think that could be a flat renewal. Is that correct?
I feel certain we'll be able to do that flat. I also feel certain we can keep the dental flat, that's really not a court sponsored benefit. It's voluntary, but it is part of the Guardian package.
Okay. All right. And Guardian covers all of these, right? Does Guardian cover just dental?
They do dental, vision, and the True Group Life.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are there any other questions? Jamie, is there anything else, or Betty, or anybody, is there anything else in new business that you need to talk about? Nothing? Nothing? Okay, Jamie, let's back up and let me go back over what we're going to be doing on Thursday and make sure this is correct. We will take to the court a flat renewal for Humana as our insurance coverage. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And we will also say, and can you be on Thursday?
Yes, sir. I believe I can.
It's a 5 o'clock meeting. We'll get you up to the front as close as we can.
Yes, sir. Be happy to.
It'll be a flat renewal, and then you can also bring up the fact that we've looked at some other options and and we'll talk about that the benefits committee will meet after reviewing some of the data, and we'll come up with a decision on before the 24th next meeting and have a recommendation.
Very good.
Okay? Squire Sebastian?
Just a quick question. Would it be beneficial to at least share with the other members of the court these options that Squire Muller and I received, right before the meeting, just so they have some awareness of what's on the table for the committee?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Today it kind of caught me, flat-footed here, not getting, having that available to review. And I think I heard, other members say the same thing. It would, the benefit of being able to review this and quantify that is really helpful when you're in the decision-making process. So I just offer that might be beneficial to other members of the court.
You got it. We'll have
Thank
that either as part of the packet or sent out before the packet, one or the other.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Jamie, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. Everybody, Squire Muller and Sebastian, you ready to adjourn this meeting and hang on for the next? Okay. Okay. So we want to thank everybody for your work on the benefits committee. Exciting. Where there's some, first of all, Jamie, thank you and Kyle for negotiating a flat rate. That's awesome. Probably one of only very few in the state that got that. So we're proud of that. We appreciate your hard work, and we will be seeing you on Thursday as we talk about this option with the fiscal court. So with that being said, this meeting is adjourned, and we will see you again